Quite a bit. Quite a bit. Let's see, what does that look like? Is that better? Maybe they gotta go a little higher. Just a little bit, maybe like that. Let's see how this looks. Maybe that's better. That's better. Hey, hopefully you can hear me and welcome. Welcome to this live stream. Shady Temple back again. I want to start off by, let me start off by saying, hey, what's up, everybody? And if you're new to the channel, please give this video a thumbs up and please subscribe. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. And I want to apologize first off to everybody that was here earlier. I'm sorry that I couldn't make it at that time. So things happen and I meant to change the time and I didn't get a chance to do it. So I'm really sorry. Hey, what's up, Gage the Mage? Hey, what's up, Dan Best? Hey, what's up, everybody? And thanks again for everybody that's here for some, the last minute things, live streams like this, these unscheduled ones. Hey, Brent, what's up? Hey, Lisa. Hey. So yeah, hope everybody's doing good. I hope you had a good Monday. Mine's been great. It's been a little crazy, but yeah. I put my Moldavite back on. I was going to make a Moldavite video, and we haven't done that yet. Sarah and I are both going to make one. She might put hers on again too. I don't know, but I will say that it's like I'm definitely learning a lot about this stone, and it's rather interesting. It's working with Moldavite, I will definitely say is like a commitment. To put it lightly, like it is really actually really crazy, and it's really weird because it's something that like when affect you or I do believe that it affects other people, and it's hard to say how it's going to affect them. So, working with real Moldavite, like I will say to like use caution when you and like be ready for emotional things to happen, and like I get very emotional when I'm working with Moldavite, and it just brings things up. Like, oh man, um, it just brings things up to the surface, and that have to be dealt with, whether you like it or not. So it's and like it's good in that regard, but you just have to be ready for it. And like I said before, it's a commitment. I'm not really going to get into that too much tonight. I mean, again, because I'm going to make some videos on that, but I do want to say hi to everybody else that's in the chat right now. Hey, what's up, Andrew Willard? Hey. I'm sorry, Dan. I'm sorry it's been a terrible day. I hope that this live stream will cheer you up, and I know that everybody in the chat will send you some love, and I'm sending you some loving energy right now, brother. I hope that helps you. What's up, Colleen Davies or Callum Davies? Sorry, Callum. My bad. My glasses are all jacked up. What's up, Callum Davies and Blake Wilker? Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh no, you had to deal with the police. That's never pleasant. I don't like that. Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly, Callum. Yeah, it is. It's wild. And I'm not only wearing a piece right now. I also have a piece that's on my altar. I have kind of a crazy crystal grid set up on my altar right now, which I have a really large piece of black tourmaline, and then I have the moldavite over top of that, and then on each side of those, I have two pieces of quartz to amplify the effects of both of the moldavite and the tourmaline. So it's definitely it definitely has like a whirlwind effect in your life for sure. But I know that everything's gonna be okay, and I just have to like work through it, because working with that stem, like I said, it's gonna it's gonna require you to deal with things. And so I do have that Moldavite that I'm wearing, but also I wanted to show you all too. I have this amazing talisman. If you can see it, like, it is freaking the badass bomb hoss ass. And this was a gift. I want to thank our dear brother, soul family brother, Friar Pestle. You can also check out his YouTube channel. Sarah and I had dinner with him the other night, and it was awesome. We had some really delicious food, and got to share some great conversation. And he was so gracious to give this talisman to me, and it's just really awesome, and I really appreciate it. I mean, it's like heavy. It's crazy. I could like feel it when I put it on. I could like see, like, really, man, I could like feel the energy like so strongly. So thank you, Friar Pestle, for that. That was like so freaking kind of you. And it was awesome to meet you in person. And it was, look forward to again in the future for sure. But I want to let everybody know JD is reading, y'all. JD has been reading, so look out, magical world. And I've got an awesome book that I want to share with you. And it's by someone that you may be friends with on Facebook, possibly, if you're in the occult community. I was when I had my original Facebook. And by the way, too, just so everybody knows, you can also find me on Facebook now. I'm going to have my business page up there, From the Light of the Darkness page, very soon. So I'll let you know when will be up, but I will do that. And then I'm probably also going to do an Instagram and a TikTok and all that, because I'm going to be revamping my website, and I really want to, just to be everywhere that I can be, I guess. So that will be happening. What's up, T-Man? And thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. But this book is by this guy, Dr. I believe. I don't know if he's a doctor. He's got some initials behind his name, and I don't really know what those mean. But his name is Robert Ing, and the book is called Outramus Peritus Libre, which is the dark book of curse, jinx, and spell annihilation. The cover looks like this. And I really dug his intro here in this book. And like, I really resonate with it like so much. And I've had this book for like a long time. And I did go through it some then. Like, I've had this book since like 2017 or something like that. But like, I really love it. Like, his chapter 1 is like required reading for all, which is really, and it's really awesome. I want to get into this. So if you guys could like, do like really like listen to what I'm going to say here. I'm going to read from his book because it's really great. And I really recommend it. But for those of you that don't really like reading, I'll give you this now and we can talk about it. But the required reading for chapter 1, he says the concept of dark magic and light magic, or black and white magic, is really one of perception. It is one's own subjective perception as to the limitations they either impose upon or believe they see in its use. Magic is like a hammer. Are there really dark or light hammers? Or is it the individual who uses it as a weapon versus one who uses it to build a shelter to build themselves a shelter, have themselves subjectively defined into its use in their realm? Perhaps even define the very name they have given to it. Magic is magic. It is neutral until one utilizes it for their own subjective, specific goal or purpose. Magic is dormant energy on an arcane level. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be applied and transformed into another form. Now, I really like this next paragraph here that we get into. All who claim to be white light practitioners have the creed of doing no harm, or what is traditionally known as the Wiccan Rede.
However, one cannot obtain success or their desire in the physical realm, whether it be through ordinary or magical means, without someone becoming disadvantaged and future events impacted. Now, let me read that sentence again and listen closely to this one, okay? Okay. One cannot obtain success or their desire in the physical realm, whether it be through ordinary or magical means, without someone becoming disadvantaged and future events impacted. Okay? Anyone who believes otherwise is living in a fairy tale world. Any practitioner of magic, regardless of their ability, must understand that every successful magical working from their perspective, the acquisition of their desire, is at the loss and peril of another, and will impact the futures of both the magician and the known or unknown entity who must bear the disadvantage. For every action, there is an equal reaction. There is no alternative or compromise. All magicians must be willing to bear full responsibility for their actions and realize that a successful magical working always comes with a price. Some may consider this a universal law or simply karma, while others may just discount it and believe that their gods will protect them as they have subjectively harmed none, and then wonder why something bad has befallen them. Ooh, yeah. So, one may correctly inquire then if objectively magic is neither light nor dark, white or black, how one can speak of being of the left hand path. The term dark or left hand path is used to identify those in their art who do not view magic and its allied concept as polarized, good or evil, dark or light, black or white, but as a neutral force awaiting their command. The term dark and left hand path indicates that the practitioner is not bound by the accept subjective religious dogma or the requirement to placate or be subordinate to an external deity, god, demon, or spirit in the practice of magic. The left hand path magician recognizes that he or she possesses the power of the universe within themselves to control and command. And then he goes on to say, one thing I must clear up is that the real left hand path, dark magicians, do not immerse themselves in evil deeds and death or make sacrifices of children and virgins. What they do concern themselves with is maintaining the natural balance of the realms of the physical, intellectual, and spiritual. It is only out of the darkness that the light of creation can manifest. The darkness represents and fosters a clear canvas or space for the light of creation to manifest. That's beautiful. And I love the way that he puts that. In order for existence and balance to prevail, you must have light and dark. Without dark, there is no need for light. Without light, dark cannot be realized. The war against darkness to annihilate it is folly, and if successful, would be nothing short of self destruction. Rather, both light and dark must work to maintain balance between each other, not domination over each other. There are times when one needs the power of darkness rather than light to overcome obstacles, to progress and bring about the balance in one's existence. For centuries, humankind has become the casualties of this imbalance due to the planned persecution of those of the dark realm, pushing them underground to where they could not adequately maintain this much needed balance in this realm. So, like, I really like the way that he's putting this. I mean, it's you know, and again, like labels, the whole label thing. It's like the world is like done everything it can to try to like tear labels apart. At the same time, like adding in more labels to things and more things that we have to remember and try to keep straight. And you this, but you have to call it that, and all of that kind of stuff. And when you're working with black magic, like people automatically assume that you are doing things that are evil and that you are sacrificing children and virgins and doing things like specifically just to go out and try to hurt people. And while there is some of that happens, I'm sure that is the exception rather than the rule. And I do believe that it is
you will have some negative consequences if you do immerse yourself in nothing but darkness 24/7. And I mean, and like, and even that, and that comes to like immersing yourself in like a death current and like a necromantic current. Like, even be careful, of course, with any entity, but even like La Santa Muerte, you have to be very, very careful in working with that death current. You have to definitely keep and maintain a good balance, or it will have, you can have some consequences and some things to deal with that you may not even be aware of. um, so it's always really, really important to maintain that balance. And I try my best to do that. I can't say that I've mastered it by any means. I mean, because I really and truly haven't. um, like, can you ever really say you master anything? No, I guess we do. We do say that, and that just goes again with like the whole thing about titles and all of that. So we do give ourselves titles, and they do hold meaning and things of that nature. But there's always another step, and there's always more to learn, and there's always new ideas and new things on the horizon, and it's exciting to see. I really love to see these new ideas that people bring forward to the table, and different things that we can try and apply. We are working with some very, very like ancient spiritual technologies here, and we are in many, many ways combining that ancient spiritual technology with our physical realm, tangible technologies that we have. And there's some really cool things that are happening with that. And of course, there are going to be some pretty crazy off the wall things that are happening with that too. Um, and, I really see, I see like in the, like in the future, like a lot is going to be happening with the use of crystals, and that we're going to be utilizing crystals more and more in with our technology. And I hope that's going to be a good thing rather than a bad thing. As much as I'm trying to like resist technology altogether, I realize that in this day and age, unfortunately, it's necessary. And if if I want to make any kind of impact in the world at all, and if I want, as far as like with what I'm doing with this and YouTube and all of that, and like putting myself out there as a public figure, then of course I have to make friends with this technology. I have to make friends with it to some degree. It doesn't mean that I have to like immerse myself in it fully, but it is somewhat of a requirement, I would say, in today's world. More and more, if you want to function in this physical realm, then you also have to have that digital footprint out there, and you also have to be existing in the digital world as well. So, you can look at that and see as like almost like the digital realm is in essence another dimension, or it could actually be something that Belial referred to in a really crazy experience I had with him when he was talking about a hidden or forgotten dimension. I think that it's a very positive, good possibility that that is in fact like the digital world is another dimension, and it could be one that that had been unlocked before with the ancient spiritual technologies, but that we are forcing that dimension back into our reality's existence through this. I mean, that could have like a lot to do with CERN and things of that nature too. Um, and this could even have to do too, like with the great old ones. I mean, I really don't know, but I do feel like that there are spiritual forces that are um, that are behind a lot of the push into this digital dimension, into this digital world. Um, and like I feel like I don't know like exactly where that's heading. Like where, where what does that mean and where is it heading? Like what does it mean for humankind and civilization? Like I don't know. I don't know. Like because this like it's something that we it's almost kind of like a vaccination. You can look at it like a vaccination. It's almost like something that's just like an inevitability. I mean, I'm not I haven't gotten the shot, and I hope I'm never going to be made to do it. But it just, it just seems like more and more you have to be existing in that digital realm in order to exist here, and so it just seems you're going to be pushed into it. You're going to have to get to know this on some type of level at some point. You can't run away from it forever. And like I used to run away from it. Like I hated technology. Um, and, if it not for like certain jobs that I had years ago, I would never have started using a computer. And like, for some reason, like I just have this aversion to it. Like I can feel, of course, and like as you all can too, you can feel and sense its power. Like just like a spirit, like this web, this world wide web. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, it's more than just an egregor. I mean, it's not an egregor. I mean, it's a living being. It's a living consciousness. Um, like Google is a living consciousness, and what it's ushering in all of this on its own, basically. Like it's already, I believe, like autonomous, and I think that all of this could be happening a lot faster than it is. Um, but it's just a matter of like our ability to keep up with and manufacturing based on the demands of this technology. It's like supplying the blueprints to us of like, here you go, make me, make me, make me. And if, through people like Elon Musk and Tesla and all of these things, like this technology is driving itself, and it seems like we're losing control of it. But at the same time, we have to utilize it. And what scares me to death about it is that they're already talking about and claiming that they have the ability to put your consciousness in a container, like to actually have your consciousness trapped in the digital thumbprint, in that digital realm, to where they can then take your consciousness and put it into another vessel or put it into an AI. So is that, if that were to happen, is it something to where you're going to be experiencing omnipresence, and that part of your personality or essence or spirit is going to be in the AI, but you're also existing on the other spiritual realms? Um, or would that be something to be fearful of? Like, is that a possibility? Are we looking at a situation where consciousness can be actually trapped? We, like, a lot of people already worry about that and look at it like in the cycle of reincarnation, and looking at the situation like with the Anunnaki, and that we're just trapped here and we keep coming back, and it's like they already have our consciousness trapped and they just keep changing out the vessel. Is this, are we looking at like um, are we looking at a situation where it's going to be similar to that whole Anunnaki situation, where we're just going to have to be put into these new vessels and worked and worked and worked and worked. And when we wear out, they're just going to put us in a new one. That would be that would be really crazy. I mean, maybe some people would like that, but that would be uh, hmm, that would be nuts. But it's just amazing, that how far we've come with all of this. It's like I don't know whether it's hard for me to like embrace it fully. And like I see a lot of people that have fully embraced it, and um, you know, a lot of those are different kind of people, and that's fine too. But it does seem like the more the more that you plug into this technology, the more you plug into the current of it, it changes you. It changes a person. I mean, of course, like everything does. The more time and attention you give something, it's going to change the world around you, and it's going to change yourself. But I do feel like that there's more. There's so much control happening there with it. There's so much of control happening with it that we're unaware of. I think that there was a distinct point in time where the technology took over, and I don't think that. Well, no, I guess I'm sure that there are some people in the world that actually know if that is true or not, and the time and date that actually took place. But it definitely feels like that is what's going on. But I would definitely, like, for you all, recommend checking out this book. I know I was talking about that earlier, and I kind of got off on a tangent about the technology. But this book goes on, the contents of it, of the dark book of curse, jinx, and spell annihilation. It goes through really a lot of step by step banishing rituals, uncrossing rituals, curse removals. Like how to neutralize workings. Um, I mean, and it really does, like, it really outlines everything and makes it like very, very easy to follow. Um, which I really, really love the attention that Robert Ing put into this in regards to exactly what to do, how to do, what you need, preparations. So, like, for example, we're going to look at like chapter 6. It's petitions to banish a curse, jinx, or spell utilizing thought forms. So this is a thought form crypt banishing petition. And so right off the get-go, it goes through the items that you need. A plain unlined wooden box, and it has the measurements of it. Candle, dragon's blood incense, frankincense incense. Even down to, like, the lighter and the things that you need. And like I like that because, like, when I write out rituals and stuff, like for like my meta link rituals, that after I complete the ritual of my end, they do have a small ritual that they have to complete on their end, and I'm specific like that as well. Down to just like every little thing you're going to need, so that there's nothing that you're going to forget, nothing will be left out. And so after the items needed, he moves right into preparation. Even giving you like everything that you're going to need for your work area, what times of night to do it. If you're using a frame or if you're using a box, it's got different instructions for that. And then it goes right into the procedure. And he's outlined all of that very, very, very well. And I like he's got the incantations in here, very, very specific, and very, like, pretty simple and straightforward. And I really like that too. It's not like, overcomplicated by any means. And so, it definitely, like, I feel like, practitioners of like really, really any skill level could work with this book. I mean, I would say definitely, like,
so someone that is maybe, has like a year or two in, definitely for sure would be great for them. But I definitely think that, even someone that's more along the lines of being a beginner would be able to have some success with this book for sure. I feel too like, when you're working with magic, the more and more you get into it, especially if you are in it at the level that I'm in it and putting yourself out there, people know what you do and all that kind of stuff. People will fuck with you and people will mess with you and people would love more than anything, some of them, to like be the fly in the ointment. And so it's really, really great to have like tools like this at your disposal. And again, the book is The Dark Book of Curse, Jinx, and Spell Annihilation by Robert Ing. I think what I'll do after this broadcast, I will put the ISBN number in the description. Sure, you can probably find it on Amazon. I think that's where I got it. It's $10. Great value. That's the book again right there. This is what it looks like. And it's probably going to be backwards for you, huh? But that's what the back of it looks like there. But I'm pretty sure it's available on Amazon. And again, it's The Dark Book of Curse, Jinx, and Spell Annihilation by Robert Ing. So on the back cover, the most practical, comprehensive book on breaking curses and spells. Learn how to construct and complete dark art banishing ritual from scratch. Break curses, jinxes, and spells within hours of reading this book. Learn how to construct your own personal magical banishing instruments, the spell, crypt, and black banishing speculum. Gain a practical understanding of the power behind curses, jinxes, and spells. And the single book is a complete course for any dark practitioner interested in breaking curses, jinxes, and spells. So let's, real quick, I want to, and again, if people don't want to stick around and listen to this, I totally understand. I wanted to find this one area where he gets into some of the, just kind of like the logic behind, curses. I love the way he explains that, about surrounding curse energy. Okay, so, all right, so let's get into this just a little bit. So it says, chapter 2, the foundation of a curse, jinx, or spell. And he has, the real curse of human civilization is its need for external gods and the infinitely endless futile pursuit of keeping in favor with them. Ain't that the freaking truth? Especially if you're like a Christian or someone that has that kind of dogma that you got to deal with. It's never ending. That shame and guilt and all of that. It just really isn't ever good enough. I mean, it seems like for me. So yeah. So it gets into a curse, jinx, or spell is generally a method by which a supernatural or magical power is used to inflict or place strong influence upon a living entity, human, beast, etc., whose free will would not ordinarily have them knowingly choose or accept such a condition. While there are many definitions of a curse, jinx, and spell used by magicians, occultists, and New Age authors and their ilk, for the purpose of our discussion, we will use the following definitions. A curse, also known as an extraction, is a long-term magical working dedicated towards a specific task or outcome. I've never called it an execration. So an execration, I'm sorry. I've never referred to a curse as an execration, but maybe that's commonly known. I didn't know. Now I know. And now you know too. But a jinx. A jinx is a short-term magical working of a general nature or purpose that will expire over a set period of time or upon a specific event or action. And then a spell definition, a very specific magical working that will end when its task is completed. So one's person pleasure may be another's displeasure. On the matter of curses, jinx, and spells, Whether done for one's own good or simply in the pursuit of magical justice, the object or victim of the working may take solace in knowing that something can be done to destroy and neutralize that which plagues them as a result of their action. This book is not one of revenge or payback, but one of defense against those who would use magic against you. Curses, jinx, and spells and their related rituals are as numerous as the many different occult, spiritual, and magical paths and crafts from which the magician may derive their practice. So, removal or neutralization. One very important point to be stressed is that the removal or neutralization of a curse, jinx, or spell, many lay people or novice occult practitioners are led to believe that a cleansing must be done on money or valuables, often suggested or inferred by unscrupulous so-called magicians or psychics. This is far from what is required. These so-called magicians or psychics will request that money and valuables be left in their care for the cleansing to take place over a ritual lasting days, only to never return the money or valuables and to never be heard from again. As well, other unscrupulous so-called magicians or psychics may charge exorbitant fees or infer the necessity of an expensive gift or donation in order to remove a curse, jinx, or spell. So, of course, be careful of these kind of people. They are out there. I mean, I've been like this is somebody that's it's out there, but probably not someone that you all would hear of every day or know of anyway, that kind of thing. They're not active on YouTube and stuff, but years ago, I had that same kind of thing happen. I got a reading. From them, and during the course of that reading, of course, I'm surrounded by curse energy, and that it's really vital that he do a ritual for me, and that he, guaranteed me that curse energy would be removed from me immediately as soon as he did the ritual. $850, and that, hey, I mean, good magic definitely costs money. I have no problem with that, practitioner myself, but I could certainly see how, in this case, how this gentleman set that up. And it's just really funny too, because a client of mine years later had a run-in with this same dude too, and the dude did the same thing to him, and the dude had actually ended up getting almost $5,500 out of this one guy that was coming to me now, and I was just like, dang, dude, wow. And I mean, and that's what some of them will do. It's really crazy to know, that they, and it sucks, that there's people out there that will take advantage of people like that and kind of predate upon their moments of vulnerability, or just even trying to plant seeds in their mind like that. Because I mean, really, it gets down to it, that's he was basically cursing me, at that moment, by planting that seed of doubt in my mind. And he was really banking on either I was going to jump at that opportunity when he said to give him 850, he'd make it all go away right, that night, or he was waiting for me to slowly begin to mentally and emotionally unravel, whether it's a course of days, weeks, or months, thinking about what he said, using my own energy against me, starting to attract all of this negative stuff because that's what's on my mind, because that's what some dude told me. And it's crazy. But that kind of stuff happens. I mean, and there's people that base their whole, career off of that kind of stuff. And I had it happen to me before too, years ago, I don't know, 12, well, not 12, it's been 15 years ago now. I mean, I'll be calling psychics like crazy, all the time. And
I mean, so I've experienced that kind of deal with that kind of scam at least 3 times. So it's just it's crazy that there's people out there that are doing that, and like it's like working for them like all the time, and just like taking advantage of people. And it's crazy um, that the world will allow and like continue to let people do that. Like that they'll just be allowed to continue in the universe. But I guess at the same time, those people that are doing that stuff are teaching people lessons that they need to learn. Apparently, it's weird, but I don't know. But anyways, so he goes on to say, another myth is that some curses, jinxes, or spells are indestructible and can never be removed or neutralized. This is absolutely false. In the left-hand path in dark art, there is no power, no manifestation, and nothing that cannot be neutralized or removed. While those who profess to follow a white light path limit themselves and therefore meet with self-imposed barriers, the practitioner of the dark art will not and does not pull in their horns and will always meet fire with fire and dread for dread. It is true that energy, whether spiritual or physical, cannot be destroyed, but it can be transformed or manifest in another form, removed from what it once was, or be neutralized in a dormant or stored state. The practitioner of the dark art is a magician of spiritual and physical energy transformation in their pursuit of maintaining balance in the 3 realms of the spiritual, intellectual, and physical. Yeah. So a curse, jinx, or spell is never neutralized or removed by cleansing physical items. The reason is that the magical working is animated in the spiritual realm, actuated in the intellectual realm, and then manifest in the physical realm. When we remove or negate, unplug the power source in the spiritual realm, the working is no longer energized in the intellectual realm and therefore has zero effect or presence in the physical realm. This is the exact process or method of neutralizing or removing any curse, jinx, or spell. Further, if a physical object had been the physical focal point in the physical realm, such as a ring, talisman, or other object, once its source of actuation has been neutralized or removed in the spiritual realm, it will simply return to its neutral state. However, if the person afflicted with the curse, jinx, or spell intuitively feels that the physical object must either be cleansed or destroyed in order to deactivate the working in the intellectual realm, then this is done as a reaffirmation of the closing and sealing the malevolent working. The reader may take solace in knowing that once a specific curse, jinx, or spell has been removed or neutralized, that he or she may never be troubled by that specific curse, jinx, or spell again in his or her physical lifetime from the same adversary. However, be warned that a persistent adversary may place a different curse, jinx, or spell with the same result or purpose, but they will be unable to repeat the same curse, jinx, or spell once it has been removed or neutralized. Hey, Kendra, Shearer, what's up? What's up? T-Man, what's up? Anybody else in here that I haven't said hi to? Hi. How are you? I need some water. When I don't have my puff bar, I am trying to quit smoking. Sarah's trying to quit smoking the View Salto vapes too, and I think tomorrow I have I've got some really awesome stuff coming. They may fit in a jewel pod, but it's a vitamin B12 and collagen, and another one has chamomile. Like, so they're just like pods for a jewel device that don't have nicotine in them. It's just so y'all can like be puffing like chamomile vapor and B12 vapor and collagen vapor. So really looking forward to that. Oh, cool. So Brent found the book. So everybody look in the comments chat here. In the chat, Brent, thank you, Brent. Brent has done all the heavy lifting for me and has listed this book in this chat. So thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Hell yeah. Thank you, Brent. So it goes on to talk about the spell trinity, curse, jinx, and spell methodology. So it says there are only 3 methods of placing a curse, jinx, or spell. By knowing and understanding how these methods work, and the particular method used by our adversary, we have the ability to neutralize and remove the working. These 3 methods, also known as the spell trinity, in ascending order of power, are the use of similars, the use of sympathetics, and the use of thought forms, in that order. So the use of similars. The use of similars is what could be considered a low-level working when it comes to the amount of power focused towards the animation of the curse, jinx, or spell. However, do not discount this method as one or little of no consequence, as similars have been used in workings to bring misfortune, disease, and death for centuries. Similars are used in ritual, spellcasting, and workings of both greater and lesser magic. It is through the use of similars that the new novice or neophyte practitioner is initiated into the craft and casts their first spell. The use of similars work in accordance to the universal law that like attracts like. A similar is an object or representation that symbolizes an individual, thing, condition, characteristic, or emotion of the trait. Examples of similars would be the name of a person, place, or thing written on a piece of paper, a sign, symbol, or a sigil, a photograph or sketch, an item, a model, or other object that is a representation of that person, place, or thing, but apart from its visual appearance has no other similarity. Examples of similars for most people would be the sacrament of wine and bread offered at a Christian churches representing the blood and the body of Christ, the personal possession of a lucky rabbit's foot or a horseshoe, an amulet, and other representations. So it also goes into the use of sympathetics. The use of sympathetics is considered to be the foundation methodology or bedrock of the art of spellcasting. Through popular writing in the media, the sympathetic that most often comes to mind is the puppet or voodoo doll, of course. Yeah, from the past of Santeria and voodoo. The traditional puppet is a representation of a person made as a cloth doll formed in clay, and within its ingredients or composition is hair, nail clippings, or other personal items or personal artifact of the intended target. So, like you could use a cigarette butt, any like a sample of their handwriting, a picture, but anything that like has their energy all over it, their energy signature, like a shirt that they wore, a pair of shoes that they wore, would be like a huge one. I mean, it would have so much energy in that. A toothbrush. However, puppets can have been used by adversaries of various pasts to inflict misfortune on their targets, of course. And that's what most people think of first when they think of puppets. They think of voodoo dolls and they think of somebody sticking a pin in it and things of that nature. And it must be pointed out that a puppet that does not contain the hair, nail clippings, or other personal items of the intended target is a similar. Okay, so you get the difference there. A similar would be something that you could use so really like a picture, and I think I misspoke there. A picture would be more of a similar. Something that maybe never was actually in their possession. But anything that was actually like a part of them or in their possession would be sympathetic. A similar would be something that's an object that just represents them in a general way. The use of sympathetics work in accordance to 2 universal laws. Firstly, that an object that has come into physical contact or was once a physical part of a person or thing shares an infinite connection with that person or thing in all 3 realms of existence. Okay, so I'm going to say that again. Firstly,
that an object that has come into physical contact or was once a physical part of a person or thing shares an infinite connection with that person or thing in all three realms of existence. Secondly, that an object that has been in physical proximity with a person or thing undergoes changes within itself and affects a sympathetic change within the external entity. Sympathetics provide a very strong connection to their target and must be isolated from coming into contact with any other object. Examples of sympathetics would be any item containing personal items that had come into contact with the target or the actual item. Common sympathetics containing such personal ingredients are cloth or clay poppets, statuary, and talismans. And then it's going to go into the use of thought forms here. The use of thought forms is the single most powerful method of spellcasting and invocation. However, there are very few practitioners, left or right, capable of executing this method successfully. While some may randomly be able to use this method, those who can do this upon their command are indeed very few. The use of thought forms requires a fundamental three-phase process on the part of the practitioner. The first phase involves entering a state of visualization where the intended situation is clearly visualized. The second phase involves commanding and focusing the energy, raising it to make the visualization reality. The third phase involves dispatching the energy and closing the void left by the visualization and energy. Depending on the task at hand, this three-phase process may be executed in a matter of minutes or hours. A practitioner competent in the use of thought forms requires no physical similars or sympathetics, no ritual or invocation, for all is created, controlled, and commanded through thought. The ability to fully command the use of thought forms cannot be taught or practiced until mastered, but lies inherent within an individual from birth. So that is scary powerful, so man, that just, there are people out there, and when you get to that point where you can literally cause insane change in your physical reality that quick just through a thought, just because you thought about it and put a little emotion or visualization in it. And then, like, lo and behold, the next day, things happen and things change. Your phone rings, you get an email, the door opens when it's supposed to, and all that kind of stuff. Crazy. So it has been well documented that many spiritual manifestations, such as angels, ghosts, demons, and other entities, were created and manifest out of the fears and insecurities of many practitioners who unknowingly and quite randomly brought these entities to life through their own thought forms. And I think that's, of course, why we're in this whole debacle that we're in over in the Ukraine right now. That very isolated, if you want to call it an isolated area, war, whatever, it's affecting the whole world, of course, but it wasn't brought on by Russia and Putin all by themselves. This is a worldwide problem, a worldwide issue that was brought on by each and every single one of us, and the bull crap that we have inside of us, the pain that we have not healed and refused to let go of. And that's why I'm promoting healing so much, energy healing so much, the use of psychedelic medicine, plant medicine so much, promoting ayahuasca so much, because we're all holding on to so much of this crap. Like, look what's happening. Like, look what's happening in our world because of the collective bullshit of all of us. Like, this is all, like, all of us did this. Some of you might not want to take responsibility for it, but It's true. Yeah, I really believe it is. But anyway, okay. Oh, yeah, here we go. A specific example of this was documented in 1972 by the Toronto Society for Physical Research and an experiment where they created a very spiritually real but physically fictitious character known as Philip. In 1984, the Melbourne Paranormal Institute conducted a similar experiment with a spiritually created entity known as Fwing. And the experience was again performed in 1998 at the Hal Rice Institute with a spiritually created entity named Wendy. In order to effectively use a thought form on a person or entity that already exists, the practitioner must know either the name or true image of the person or entity. Knowing the name or true image of a person or entity establishes a psychomagnetic link that can be used for control and influence of that person or entity. In the ancient mystery schools of Egypt, students were taught that the entire life of a living creature was invested and manifest in their name. In the Analects of Confucius, the importance of names and the act of naming is emphasized to ensure order in both position and power in the world. So, names, specifically names, have a lot of power. The use of thought forms work in accordance with four universal laws: that the physical universe does not exist independent of the thought of the participants, that it is possible thinking of an object can change it and oneself, that the vibrations of thought patterns and specific harmonics structure all matter and light as it is experienced, that thought is an energy form, it's interchangeable with matter under specific conditions. And as previously mentioned, energy cannot be destroyed, but can be manifest in a different way or be caused to be neutral or dormant. So then something go into binding. In order to be cast, become active and work, all curses, jinx, and spells must be bound. This binding involves connecting the working in all three realms of existence: the spiritual, the intellectual, and the physical, in the use of similars and sympathetics. By the very fact that they are physical objects, they are bound in the physical realm, and by the practitioner mentally associating a person, thing, or quality to the physical object, binds it in the intellectual realm. Therefore, all that has to be done is to bind the working in the spiritual realm. Binding in the spiritual realm is the final phase of spellcasting and is done through ritual. The ritual may involve the burning of candles and or incense while reciting a formal spell or impromptu as emotion dictates. Command by the practitioner at a predetermined hour, day, or lunar phase. Once the ritual is complete, the spell is cast and exists on all three realms to manifest its purpose. The methods involved in the use of similars or sympathetics both require binding. The only method of spell casting that does not require binding for the curse, jinx, or spell to exist on all three realms is that which uses thought forms. At the command of a capable left-hand path practitioner, thought forms utilize highly focused, pure energy capable of manifesting in all three realms concurrently, and therefore by their very nature already exist in a dormant state within these realms. That's crazy to think about, isn't it? Like all of that potentiality, it's already there. It's already there. Depending on the purpose of the working, the method used to cast it, and the ability of the practitioner, the time it may take to realize the full potential of the working may take a few minutes or as much as several months. And then it even goes into methods of determining the methods used by your adversary to harm you. And I think that's pretty cool. I'm not going to get into all of that because I doubt people just want to sit here all night and listen to this. But I think, is something of the, this is a good thing to have. This is a great thing to have, no matter where you're at. If you're into this kind of thing, it's a solid $10 investment. I will say that right now. A few quick updates. I did start working on the Patreon, and that's going to be out soon. I was hoping I was just going to be like bing, bang, boom, and like have it like all out and functioning over this past weekend, or I guess it was the weekend before that. But I did work on it a lot, and it's coming together, but it's just not. It's just not there yet. So yeah. But it was good to see everyone. I guess I'm gonna roll out. I hope you had a great day, and I hope that Tuesday is good to you tomorrow. And oh, thanks, Lisa. Yeah, everybody give us a thumbs up. And if there's any new subscribers out there, please be sure to give me your subscription, subscribe, please. Thanks, Delphine and Delphine, bringing in a kick-ass super chat. Thank you so much, Delphine. Appreciate that. That is really awesome and very kind of you. And I hope that you're doing well. I haven't seen you in a long time. So I hope everything is going good in your neck of the woods down under there. But anyway, it was really good to see everybody. I'll be back again very soon. And again, I apologize for being so late and everything. So, anyways, I'll talk to you later. And Oh, and thank you, Friar Pestle, once again. And thank you, Lisa. Yes, thank you so much. And I'll see you all again soon. Later. Bye.